You are not lazy. You're depleted. I'm going to talk to you today about the truth about women's exhaustion. Welcome back to my YouTube show. I am Jenn Pike, your host. I am a functional medicine diagnostic nutritionist, medical exercise specialist, and have nearly 30 years of experience from being a young 17-year-old teaching group exercise classes and seeing so many women push and push and push to starting my clinical practice in my 20s and now all the way over here in my mid 40s, having taken women through so many different journeys of their deep fertility years in their 20s, through trying to get pregnant, pregnancy, postpartum, and then coming into perimenopause and menopause. And so when I read so many comments from women that are saying, I feel like I'm being lazy. I feel like I've got nothing left in the tank. I desperately want to feel better. I've gone to my doctor or I've gone to practitioners. I feel like I am doing everything right. And I am being told that this is all in my head, that the exhaustion is something that I just have to fix by getting more sleep and taking a day off. And it's like, well, hello, Captain Obvious. We know when we're exhausted, we need to be getting better sleep and more of it. But what if that is your greatest struggle, that you are not sleeping? And I just want to say this, you're not broken. You are not being lazy. You're not failing at life. You're exhausted. And this is one of the ways that your body is trying to protect you. And I want to start here because so many women are told the opposite. We get told not only that we need to get more sleep and more rest, which we're like, thank you, I'm actively trying to do that, but that you also need to be more disciplined. You need to have more motivation. You need to hustle harder. You need to push through. You got to get out there and flex and build your grit muscles. And listen, I'm a business owner as well. And so sometimes those things are, we need to have grit when we're building a company. But when we are talking about building and taking care of and honoring our bodies, when in the most case for a lot of women, we're trying to get our bodies back to a place of feeling safe, we don't double down on pushing harder and tell ourselves the story that I just need more willpower, I need more discipline. Discipline is a decision. If we want to feel like we have more discipline in our life, we want to feel better in our health, we're one decision away from that starting to become a reality. It's the difference of drinking more water today than you did yesterday, of trying to get to bed 10 minutes earlier tonight, getting natural light in the morning, not skipping meals, getting out of the energy of just constantly consuming everyone else's information and opinions and their plans and strategies, and trying to learn enough about your body as a woman to be able to figure this out on your own. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying don't go work with anyone, but what I mean is your body is giving you a lot of signs and symptoms every single day that you know to be true, but you don't trust it. Because as soon as you open your phone, you could even be coming on here to YouTube, you are told by so many other people, no, 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 this is what's happening. Don't listen to your body. In fact, I've been seeing more and more people say lately, your body is lying to you. And I also want to preface this by saying, I've not spent any time with you one-on-one. I don't know exactly what's going on in your life, but what I do know is that there is a huge shift that has happened culturally for us in the last 15, 20, probably 30 years now. We celebrate overworking and we label rest as being lazy. So most women, they feel like they've lost their edge. You can't focus the same anymore. You've lost interest in the things that you love to do. Even the family that you used to love taking care of, and now you're like, oh my God, if you need me for one more thing. The marriage that you were so invested in, the job that you have that you love to do, the workouts that you love to do, the meals and the recipes that you loved to create. You just don't have the drive anymore. And even if you feel that drive every now and again, it's fleeting. So you might notice all of a sudden you're that person who has a whole bunch of unfinished projects and piles in the house, and you're sitting there looking at it going, this is not who I am. This is not how I used to be. This isn't about your willpower, and it's definitely not about character flaws that you have. There are a lot of things happening behind the scenes in your body as a woman. And depending on the stage of life that you are at, I tend to attract women that are between the ages of 35 and 65. You've got some nervous system dysregulation that is going on. And how could we not, when we've built our lives taking care of other things and other people, pushing, trying to keep up, trying to build? That by definition can lead to burnout. And then we have hormonal depletion. And I'm not just talking about your estrogen and progesterone as part of perimenopause and menopause. I'm talking about your adrenals. I'm talking about your thyroid. I'm talking about your blood sugar regulation. I'm talking about the neurotransmitters and hormones that support a healthy mood, that help to keep things like anxiety and depression at bay and help to keep your cognition super sharp and to keep you clear and focused. So when we get into even our mid-40s, definitely into our 40s, and for sure by our 50s and our 60s, things have compounded, meaning all the years of your life, all those experiences, moving through potentially pregnancy and postpartum, moving into and through perimenopause and into menopause. We have had big changes happen in our bodies. No one can dispute that. And I know right now everyone is being told, just go and demand HRT from your provider. I'm not going to tell you to go and demand HRT, but I am going to tell you to demand more of yourself and the people who are helping you in terms of really connecting the dots of what do you need. I see a lot of women who start on HRT and they are like, oh my gosh, I feel like this was the bridge that needed to connect me from where I felt stranded to where I wanted to go. I couldn't see the middle and the HRT made the difference. And then I know the same amount of women who say, I tried it and I didn't feel any different. And a lot of this has to deal with what is going on in our actual bodies as a whole. What about your lifestyle, your stress, your gut health, your current nutrition, your movement, your lymph system, all of these different things. And I know as you're hearing me talk about it, it sounds like, oh my gosh, this is a whole nother job that I have to create for myself. But if you are able to sit back and recognize that potentially you are coming through a time where you've been going through chronic stress, and I don't mean, oh my gosh, stress that is just knocking at the door every day, like slamming. I mean low grade stress that's just showing up and just poking the bear a little bit. Chronic low grade inflammation. Sleep is not fantastic. Maybe you're undernourished. Doesn't always mean you're under eating. Sometimes that's the case. You're not getting enough food in for your body's needs. But sometimes it's that you're eating enough, but you're not getting enough of the right nutrients that your body requires. So it's like you're fed, but you're hungry. Maybe you're over exercising. Maybe you're under exercising. You're constantly caring for other people. And all of these things create the perfect storm for depletion. And you'll know that this is part of kind of the recipe that's gotten you here today, because you'll describe yourself in ways of saying, I used to be able to do X amount of things in X amount of time. And now I do not know who that person is anymore. I don't have the ability to multitask and move from one thing to the other. Heck, I can barely get through the single thing that I'm trying to focus on. So if you've been in this state of chronic stress for too long, your brain starts to downregulate many of the hormones that are supporting your motivation and that energy output, because what it's trying to say is, woman, can you just take 5? Take a rest and chill out without telling yourself that you're being lazy and you're not being productive. Understand that when we don't have enough estrogen on board anymore, that you have a drop in serotonin and dopamine, which is why you can feel disinterested, why you feel flat, why you feel foggy, why you have a brain that doesn't feel like it's firing on all cylinders. Your body can move into freeze mode, right? We talk about fight, flight, freeze, fawn, the fracture of the nervous system. When the body goes into that freeze mode, it's not because you're weak. It's because your nervous system has this beautiful protective mechanism trying to slow you down and prevent you from going and saying yes to one more responsibility, one more crazy workout, one more thing that is going to lead you deeper into burnout. It's trying to pull you back and get you to pay attention. And if your system is saying things to you like, if you won't slow down, I'm going to slow down for you, you owe it to yourself to pay attention. And this is why going harder and just trying to push deeper, it doesn't work. Your own biology and your body's physiology is literally going to override whatever you believe your to-do list is. I hope that part is sinking in. And I just want to say before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to my channel here. Click on this link below. I do have a guide I'm going to share with you at the end of how you can go a little deeper in this knowledge and understanding. But I have loads of new episodes that are coming up with education just like this and even greater. So make sure that you click below. Now, when we talk about the fix, okay? Everyone's looking for that. What's the fix? What's the one thing? What's the protocol, the pill? Tell me, what is the prescription? We don't want to hear what I'm about to say, but I'm telling you that this is like if you bypass what I'm about to tell you, you are trying to build a house on a faulty foundation, and it can look beautiful on the outside, and heck, it can even look beautiful on the inside for a while until it doesn't. And this is starting with your nervous system. So we hear everyone say things like regulate your nervous system, get your nervous system in check, nervous system repair. But what does that actually mean? And what is that going to require of you? Or in a lot of cases, what is that going to require you to stop doing? So, and I have learned this not only as a clinician, I have learned this as a human, as a almost 46-year-old woman, mother of two, running a business with a husband who's also an entrepreneur, that healing starts when you stop pushing and you start supporting. And some of the most effective ways rooted in simplicity that you can do this is breath work. I'm talking 2 to 5 minutes a day, like dropping into your body so that you can drop out of that fight or flight and just focusing on your breathing, connecting to your body, witnessing your breath, morning sunlight, getting off your device first thing and getting in front of a window. I had my husband install one of those mirrors that has like an extended arm in the bathroom in front of the mirror. So I don't get ready in the mirror underneath fluorescent lighting. I get ready in a mirror that's in front of the natural light. Get outside for a walk if you can. If you're enjoying your morning coffee or your matcha or a tea, can you sit in front of the window or go out back or out front and get some morning light? This is going to help with your cortisol awakening response. This is helping to regulate your not just cortisol production and management throughout the day, but also your circadian rhythm. And this is going to help support your hormonal balance overall, including things like your cravings. Give your brain and nervous system a moment in the morning. Just like give it a beat for a second before hopping on your phone, hopping into your inbox, hopping onto Instagram, hopping onto YouTube, and being overstimulated. Get up slow. Take time brushing your teeth. Take time washing your face. Take time brushing your hair. Take time taking your jammies off and putting your clothes on. Like, take a minute and stop treating life like something's on fire and you've got to run to get out. Think about how you can build resiliency in your body in terms of strength. When we start to do strength training, whether it's body weight in the beginning, bands and resistance tubes, and then you start to add in machines or dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever it may be, that muscle is not only creating better metabolic health, but you're building resiliency. You're protecting your bones, you're protecting your breast, you're protecting your heart, you are protecting your brain. So I want you to think about, can you start to strength train or move your body in a way that is going to match up with your current capacity? And what I mean by that is if you are bone dead tired, you're not going to go and start doing a 60-minute circuit training class or a 40-minute Tabata class. No. And if that would be your tendency, I know it's going to be so hard. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is what I'm used to doing. And instead, you're going to go for a walk. You're going to go for a walk uphill to make it harder. You're going to go to yoga. Maybe you're going to do a Pilates class or a bar class. You are going to do something that's going to challenge you. And in the beginning, the challenge might be breaking free of what you used to do, which was always hard. Always hard. And the challenge becomes still showing up and moving your body, but in a way that actually feels nourishing. And then I want you to think about creating micro moments for rest. A cup of tea without multitasking, a walk without your phone, 5 minutes of putting your legs up the wall before you go to bed. And here is the key, and I see this time and time again with women I work with inside of our programs like the Perimenopause and Menopause Project, even the women I coach inside of our business program, The Audacious Woman, and 100% inside my fitness studio Synced. Less is more when you are in repair mode. This is not about doing nothing. This is about doing the little somethings consistently that start to stack over time so that your system feels safe and the foundation, your nervous system, feels safe enough to start to build your power back up and start to build this new way of being and existing in your body. And, you know, like I said, when I read these comments that say things like, I'm dreading the next several years. If this is how I'm feeling like now, what the heck is coming? I feel like I've tried everything and nothing is working. I have nothing left to give. I wake up and I'm tired no matter how much I sleep. My belly keeps expanding no matter what it is that I do. I want you to know, number one, you are not alone. I also want I feel you and I hear you. You're not imagining this. The amount of women that just get completely ripped a new one and gaslit when they start to describe how they're feeling, and you have people that are like, that's not true. That's not actually happening. If we look at the literature, I'm sorry, but F your literature for a moment and listen to the woman that's in front of you. Yes, we can have studies that show A, B, and C is matter of fact, but we also cannot negate the actual human having the lived experience that is sitting in front of us in that moment. And as clinicians, it's our job to hear and validate you first, and then start to teach and support you, and then start to bring some of that evidence-based information and application into your life. And so if you're in this season right now, I want you to grab my free perimenopause support guide below, because it's packed with the exact steps that I walk women in our programs through, so you can start to reclaim your energy, you can start to support your hormones on a better level, you can start to repair your nervous system. So download it now. It's in this description, right where I keep pointing down below. And let's start your healing today. And the last little reminder is, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the future episodes that are coming up. But this does not have to be, I'm not even going to say like this doesn't have to be your future. This doesn't have to be your right now. We literally have an opportunity in every meal that we consume, in every decision that we make, in every night that we lay our head down, and every morning we open our eyes. We have the power to choose differently. And in the first little while, and this could be the first few days, few weeks, few months, sometimes the first few years, it can feel like you are banging your head against the same wall and not seeing or feeling the difference. But I am telling you, ladies, if you can be consistent, you can trust the process, you can stop jumping from one thing to the next, you can trust your body when she communicates with you, you are going to feel better. And it is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. I hope you enjoyed this episode today, and I hope we will see you back here next time.